Welcome to Karametra Brick House. Hope you're excited for some walls. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, it looks good. We've got the Forest Flooded Strain. Yes, I'm going to keep on this one. We have the Cultivate. That looks absolutely delightful. Let's get Karametra popped up. Let's see what. Hey, best of luck and hello. I always feel like if you don't say hello and you just say best of luck, it almost comes across as it's like I'm gonna beat you. Best of luck. You're gonna need it. Let's go to get down the flooded strand. I think that sounds good. Anything else? We're gonna go and pass the turn. We're playing Karametra Brick House. Karametra, God of all walls. Indestructible Devotion 7 turns into a creature. Then, whenever you cast a creature spell, you may search your library for a force or plains card, and that is capitalized. Put it on the battlefield, tap, and shuffle your library. So, let's say you're new to Magic, and it says when it says search your library for a forest or a plains, you're searching for a subtype. So you can grab either a basic force, it'd be perfectly fine. And then, sorry, I have the auto yield on. I wanted to crack the flooded strand before we passed it over there. But it allows you to search up, so you can actually do the same way that flooded strand says, "Hey, search your library for a plains or an island card." That's going to allow us to grab something like Canopy Vista, and you can definitely do that off of Karametra. Let's grab that Canopy Vista, have it come into play tapped, and then drawn to Genesis Wave. Wonderful. Let's go and get the forest down. Let's go for the Gatekeeper Vine. We'll be able to grab that. I don't think we have Selesny Guildgate in here, but we do have at least a basic we can grab. That'll put us online for Cultivate, and then we'll be good to go from there. Now, we do have Axebane Guardian in the hand, which will allow us to generate some pretty nice mana off our defenders. Yes, we're going to use that ability. And then let's go ahead and grab a, I guess at this point, we'll go and grab a Plains. That's not too bad. Get the Plains onto the battlefield, into our hand, and then we're going to go and pass the turn. Playing against Krenko Mob Boss. Tap, create X11 red goblin creature tokens for X the number of goblins you control. And then shout out to Mudsta because he's a big goblin fan. I think our opponent said something, good luck to you too, awesome. So that's some fun. But yes, as far as this deck goes, you haven't seen it before. It is a lot of fun. Like I had Karametra originally when I started my channel. It was one of the few decks that I put out, and one of the core decks that I put out. Let me rephrase that. And it was Karametra Insects, which it was fun, but and then I stopped recording with Karametra for a really long time because I had a lot of trouble with it, and ended up being bad deck building and pushing this insect theme that didn't really make sense. So anyway, I stopped doing Karametra for a long time, and here we are now. I've decided to build Karametra walls, and we do at least have an alternative win condition in our hand finally. It seems like the last couple of times I've tried to record for Karametra, we either A, don't end up with card draw, which we have a ton of it in the deck, or we don't end up with a secondary win condition like Genesis Wave. So I'm happy to see that. Let's go ahead and get down the Marsh Flats. I think I like that. Let's go and crack the Marsh Flats. Let's go and go for Cultivate. That's going to put us online for Karametra. Pretty soon next turn. Let's go and grab the Savannah. Let's go for Cultivate. That's going to be green, and they'll be able to make the land drop either the Plains or if the other Cultivate in our hand. We're just going to grab a green source, and then we'll grab another green source. Okay, have the forest come into play. This one goes into our hand, and then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. See what they said. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully it works out. Yeah, that's always a bummer whenever that happens. But playing against Krenko can get pretty gnarly sometimes. But yeah, as far as the actual Karametra deck itself, we're running 100% Wall Tribal in here, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be using stuff like Assault Formation. There's a couple other cards that allow, like the Gargoyle, that allows you to your creature's a defender to swing in and attack. Then there's other just great value cards. Genesis Wave. You start cracking some of these defenders onto the battlefield. You end up with a lot of mana for Genesis Wave. Oh. Some good stuff right there. Let's go and go for the forest. Let's go and go for Karametra. I like that. 1, 2, 3. It helps if we had tapped for white on one of those lands. Felt like we did, but anyway, it is what it is. Get down Karametra, the god of all Harvest Moon. Actually, we'll talk about Harvest Moon here in a second. Always forget that Karametra is the god of Harvest Moon, and then we'll talk about my favorite game. Anything else, and we're going to go pass the turn. Now, we do have Naturalize in the hand, so with Naturalize, we can take care of the Stoneforge Masterworks. It's going to get +1/+1 for each creature that shares a creature type with it. So if they do put that on Krenko, that's something that we can at least take care of it. The good thing at this point right now is they don't have a lot of goblins on the battlefield. You need a lot of goblins to get Krenko going from there. It looks like our opponent might have more than enough mana, not enough goblins. But Harvest Moon. So Harvest Moon was it was kind of like the first game that I went really deep on when I was little. I played Harvest Moon for the Game Boy, so I'm showing my age. And then I played pretty much every version of Harvest Moon from there. I played Harvest Moon, and actually Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town. That was my favorite Game Boy, or any Harvest Moon game at all. I feel that was like peak gameplay controls, because the earlier games, they were fun, but they were a little clunky, not the best. Sometimes just led to actually, let's do that in a second. Let's go and get down the Wooded Foothill. I could talk about that all day. Let's get the Axebane Guardian down. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, and that's also gonna allow us to flash in the white main line if we want to. Yes, we're gonna use that ability. Let's go and grab these Scattered Groves. It's gonna come into play tapped. Get down the Axebane Guardian. And if we flash in the return a creature you control to its owner's hand, so we can simply just flash in the white main line if we want to. I think at this point, I like just leaving it up. We could go for Kodama's Reach if we want to. That'll be some extra mana. Yeah, now I think about that. Even if they do get down the Stoneforge Masterwork, or they want to swing in with Krenko for some reason, hopefully we'll be able to kind of survive from that. Let's go and get the forest down. Let's go and go for that Kodama's Reach. Now, this is one of those decks that we have a ton of walls in here, a ton of creatures in here. And, some Karametra decks, you can see where we're kind of kind of exhausting ourselves on lands a little bit. Let's go and grab a Plains and go and grab another Plains. Leave those 2 forests in there. Plains on the battlefield and that into our hand. But you can see where we're going to get to pretty good Genesis Wave sooner than later, and hopefully we're going to be able to survive that Krenko. But with Karametra, I'm only running 36 lands in here, and the main reason for that is we're running a lot of walls in here. So if you're thinking about building Karametra, something that you can definitely do would be to increase the number of lands, especially if you're going to run a lot of creatures in there. But it gets to the point where, even if you're running out of lands to search for Karametra, once you have those lands on the battlefield, so you're sitting in a pretty good spot. All right, and our opponent's going to get this online, so they do a Krenko's command, getting those 2 goblins onto the battlefield. That will net them 3 goblins once they get down Krenko. Once again, we still have Naturalize and Genesis Wave to kind of go for, so hopefully we'll kind of survive from this turn. But with the Harvest Moon, yeah, Friends of Mineral Town was definitely my favorite game, and I've always enjoyed those really tedious games. In fact, if you've never... Ooh, Path to Exile, that's a really good draw. Let's do this. Let's go and get the Plains down. And yeah, I like taking care of Krenko before they have an opportunity. Let's go and go for Path to Exile. They're going to get a Plains down. They can recast Krenko if they want to. But that's just going to be 5 goblins on the battlefield. We can flash in the white main lion, the Gucci main lion, and then get that down and bounce it back to get another recast off of that. Especially if we want to go for Karametra, we can search our land for a basic land or a gate card. So we'll see what we're going to search on that one, if we want to end up going for that. And since our opponent hasn't gotten down anything else, yeah, I kind of like going for the Naturalize. I guess we could technically wait until they go to equip it onto one of their creatures. That would be better. Yeah, let's do that. All right, we're going to go and pass the turn. So let's go ahead. We can actually go ahead and start kind of adding up some of our Genesis Wave mana. So we're looking at Axebane Gardens. We'll be able to add X mana to our mana pools, X the number of defenders that we control. Unfortunately, we only have 2 defenders on the battlefield right now. So we're looking at basically... We're going to have Genesis Wave for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're looking Genesis Wave for 9, which is not bad. Opponent's going to go for Krenko, okay. And then the Stoneforge Masterwork is going to quit for 2. We might end up just simply going for the Naturalize. That wouldn't have to worry about that anymore. And then we can actually still go and get a white main lion cast too. I think I like that. So we can keep bouncing the white main lion back to our hand. Return a creature you control to its owner's hand. That way we can kind of grab, this can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we actually get 4 of them off of that instead of going for that Naturalize. So let's go and do that. That way we can get a lot of walls on the battlefield. Hopefully we'll be able to find one of the... all right, we got the goblins swinging in. And with them swinging in for 5 and 1 mana open, I don't really want to lose any of our creatures, so we're just going to go and take the 5. We can take the hit down to 22. If we wanted to, we can flash in white main line and declare it a blocker, but actually, we'll have to bounce it back in the hand before we do that. Let's see if there's anything else to show for the turn, and then we will try to get down the white main line. Let's go and go for that. It's going to be white and then green. There we go. Search your library for a forest or a plains card. Yes, we're going to use that ability. Let's go ahead and grab the Temple Guard and have that come into play tap. Not going to pay 2 on that one. White main lane will enter the battlefield and we'll be able to do this 3 more times. Okay, and that is the last white main lion trigger. We're going to bounce the last one back to our hand, and then we'll be good to go. So now we're going to end up with a really good Genesis Wave, and draw into Angelic Wall. Let's go and get the land down for the turn. Do we simply just want to tap out for a Genesis Wave for a bunch? I think that sounds pretty good. Then we can start getting down some of these walls too. Yeah, I like that. Let's go and go for it. That's going to be 1, 2, 3 off the Genesis Wave, and then that's going to be 1, 2, 3. Actually, we're going to hold M on this one. Oh, this is going to be good. Now, we do have Crater Hoof in here. I'm pretty sure we do. And then we could tap out Axebane Guardian for 2, but depending on how many defenders we get down, we can use that to start recasting some more stuff. So let's go in Genesis Wave for 11. I'm just going to get down the Woolly Razorback, Sylvan, and then Wall of Blossoms, Geist. Oh, that is a beautiful spread of what we want to get down. And I'm going to pop this out to make sure that we're getting down every single one of these, because the last thing I want to do is miss one of these. Wall of Omens, that's some good card draw. Ancient Tomb, got the Sky Ruin, Sun Petal Grove, and then make sure that Ancient Tomb gets down. So it looks like everything is green on that. It's a little hard to tell on that one, but that's a good little spread. We're still going to end up with a lot of mana. We're going to get a card draw off Wall of Omens and Wall of Blossoms. So really the only thing that we're missing right now at this point is some sort of way to make sure our defenders can attack. So let's go and get that card draw going off the Wall of Blossoms. And look at that. So at this point right now, our Axebane Guardian is going to be tapping out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to be able to tap out for 8, so we can still get down the Angelic Wall. It's going to have Defender with Flying, and we can still at least kind of go for the Naturalize on that Stoneforge Masterwork. Okay, there we go. So we're going to draw a card off that. Draw into Eye Lake Tutor. That is actually exactly what we need. And then we're going to draw an additional card off the Wall of Omens. Draw into Basic Plains. Let's go and get the Tutor going. So we need 1/2 off the Ancient Tomb. You can search our library for enchantment card, reveal it, and put it into our hand. That's going to allow us to search up the Assault Formation. It's going to allow us to start swinging in. Let's go and pull this out just a little bit. Assault Formation. And then target creature with defending can attack as though it didn't. Let me make sure Rolling Stones. Yeah, we're going to go and grab the Assault Formation. Yep, I like that. So we're going to grab Assault Formation. Let's go ahead and go for the Axebane Guardian. We're going to be able to add X 8 mana to our mana pool. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3 white. And then 2 more, I guess. Technically doesn't really matter. Either way, we're just going to go and we'll go green across the board. All right, let's go and get down the Assault Formation. And that's actually going to help us with Karametra getting that down too. Let's go and get that down. Let's get down the Angelic Wall. That's going to be another Karametra trigger. We're going to have that Life Crafter's trigger too, so we can pay that green to draw a card. Yes. Get an additional card, Jeskai Barricade. And then enters the battle for turn target creature controllers. Yes, we're going to use that Karametra. I think we're actually one more land. No, we're out. No more lands. We're tapped out on Karametra. Let's get down the Angelic Wall that will have flying. Let's go ahead. It's not going to matter, but yeah, let's go and go for Naturalize on the Stoneforge Masterwork. We could leave that up if we wanted to, but at this point right now, it's going to make sure that all of our walls stick around on the battlefield. We can start swinging it from there. So we're going to go for Naturalize on the Stoneforge Masterwork, and it's going to leave 1 green mana. Target creature with Defender. Let's go ahead and I guess everything has summoning sickness at this point right now, so it won't really help us that much. So we're not going to use that last mana on that one, but we can go for, yeah, let's let that kind of fizzle out. Okay, there we go. Let's go and push in for 6 with the Karametra coming across. It's actually going to be coming across this for 7 once we get down the Assault Formation, and they're going to be able to go from there. Now, this is pretty much what you want to happen with Karametra, you know. Ramp with a bunch of little creatures, get down Karametra, start making your land drops off of that. You can see where you have a lot of mana with White Mane Lion open. You can simply keep recasting, get those lands on the battlefield, and then use something like Axebane Guardian. So even though Assault Formation does say, hey, target creature Defender can attack as though it didn't have Defender, you simply... You may have to deal X damage to target creature. Okay, I thought that was going to be dealt to us up top. I was like, uh-oh. But basically, with the Karametra trigger, excuse me, the Axebane Guardian, so we can tap out for all these defenders. It's going to be 8 total mana we can tap out, making sure that our entire board is going to be able to come across. Now, with the Gem Palm Incinerator, they're going to be able to deal X damage to target creature or X number of goblins you control. As far as whatever they want to choose with this Gem Palm Incinerator, I'm not entirely sure what would be the best bet for them. We've got a really good spread between the Fortified Rampart. It's a 0-6, so it's going to be the Woolly Mammoth, okay. And they are sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but I said they need to make some more goblins before they can be able to go for that. So that will take care of our Woolly Razorback. Dang it. And then, but yeah, this is one of the new additions to the deck. I recently added it, and there's a couple other ones. I added Woolly Razorback, and I also added the, there's like a White Rock. Like ROC, that whenever it dies, 0-3, and when it dies, you get a 3/3 bird token. So that I added that to the deck too, as a little bit of a kind of like a board wipe protection in a roundabout way. But the main thing is we need to push past all these goblins. You know, it doesn't really help us if all these goblins are sitting on the battlefield. So we'll see what we can do. Luckily, a destroy target artifact. All right. So since we do have some creatures with flying, we've got 1, 2. And it's funny because there's not that many walls with flying, so we're at least going to be able to start swinging in for 7 a turn. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep up with the goblins. We'll see, but either way, you can kind of see where tapping out for a really big Genesis wave is pretty good. We do have some more removal, so if we can find something like, we did use, what is it, Path to Exile. If we can find Swords to Plowshares, that'll definitely take care of Krenko and kind of slow down that goblin clock. But at least we've got some really good defender action going. Okay, so we got the goblins swinging in at this point right now. That's going to be 5 goblins swinging in at 1/1. Um, I'm trying to figure out if we want to chump block on this one. They've got 4 mana open, and I guess as long as we technically have Angelic Wall and the Geist up, I think we'll be okay. Because we're going to be able to take care of them. Yeah, we'll give it a. I mean, if they've got something that can destroy it, that's fine. Get on the Wall of Blossoms, and we'll go for the Gatekeeper. Because, yeah, each creature you control is going to deal combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. So we're going to click OK. And it's not like the Siege Tower. It only applies to our side of the battlefield. So that's just going to count for our creatures. So if they have some sort of damage spell, that's fine. What we can do to maybe try and win the game is we can add Axebane Guardian mana. And then deals 2 damage to each creature. Yeah, there we go. I figured there's going to be something along those lines. But luckily, with us having enough the walls, we just lost Sylvan and then the Gatekeeper Vine. So that puts us in a spot where we can start going for that 3 mana activation. I don't know if we'll have enough in the air. We'll see how much mana we got. We got 1, 2, 3. And then let's go ahead and bring the, I guess, Sylvan back. Which one is going to allow us to... Yeah, we're going to bring back Wooly back. I think I like that. All right, we're going to bring that back. And then what we can do with the Jeskai Bear, yes, we're going to use that ability. Bring back Wooly, and then we can start using some of the, the Life Crafter that got destroyed. We're not going to be, ooh, is that Colossus out there? Okay, let's go to get the planes down. So at this point right now, with them swinging with those goblins, we don't really have to worry about a really bad goblin crackback. The thing is, do we want to? So we've got, at this point right now, we've got 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And that's going to be 19. Right now we have defenders about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got 7 mana that we're going to be able to do. So we're looking at 26. With those activations, we're looking about basically about 8 activations. It's going to be plus 8. So that's going to be 12. And then that's going to be 11. That's going to be right at 20. Is that lethal in the air, if I'm correctly, if we tap out for that? Because we swing across the board. Yeah, I think we need to go for that. Because either way, they're not going to kill us on the crackback. Let's go and push in. I think we might have lethal if we simply just tap out for all these defender activations. Go ahead and... Oh, dang it. I needed to activate Assault Formation before we went for that. Okay, so we're going to change it up just a little bit. We're going to swing in with the Geist. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. So we need to go for the activation. We'll do that next turn. All right, let's go and push in for 6, 7. And then with the Geist, it's going to have that protection. So we need to leave up 18 mana for the Colossus, which we're definitely going to have that. Okay, so we're going to get a Goblin block on Karametra. That's going to be 6, 7. And then we'll go ahead. So we need 18 total mana. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 11. Yeah, we'll have enough between 11. That's going to be 18. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we do have at least 2 activations off of that. Unless we want to hold up something like Jeskai Barricade, simply just to flash it down. You return a creature to its owner's hand. Yeah, let's go ahead and go for 1 activation. Let's go for a couple activations. Let's make green and then 1, 2 off the Ancient Tomb. We'll go for 2 more. And we'll go for that last part. Creatures you can control get +1/+0. And I guess technically earlier when we went for Inflame, I might have been able to go for some activations in response to that. Unless we were tapped out, I can't remember. But that just now popped in my head. All right, so we're going to get him for 5 in the air. We'll put him to 18. And then we'll be able to tap out for the Colossus and still get that monstrosity. And it's going to have trample. So it's going to be really hard for them to deal with that. I'm just going to get the Colossus down. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. Oh, there we go. And we're out of planes to search on that one. Yes, we're going to use that ability. Let's look at a shuffle effect, so that's okay. Just kind of shuffle it up a little bit. Get on the Colossus of Akros, and then that's going to put us at 1, 2 off the Jeskai Barricade, and then 2 more for that, and the Defender will be able to play for the Monstrosity 10. All right, anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. So at this point right now, we can flash in the Jeskai Barricade. We still have some extra mana to activate for the Assault Formation. That way, if they do swing in with some more Goblins, we can go and kind of chump block them from there. But once again, we're at 18 with those 5 goblins coming across. It's not the end of the world. And then once we get down the Colossus of Akros coming across between these 2 creatures with flying and him with that monstrosity 10, and then once we get the additional +1s on there, well, it should be in a good spot. All right, whenever you control becomes blocked, sack it. Does 4 damage to each creature blocking it. Okay. in like at this, like I said, at this point right now, they only got 2 cards in the hand, so we're going to be able to take a goblin hit. We don't have to really worry about the goblin task really dealing that much damage to our goblins. We'll be in a pretty much okay spot. All right, and they're not going to swing in on this one. Let's go ahead and go for the. Let's go and get that going. Let's go for the defender. We're just going to add black on this one because that'll be pretty good for that. And then tap out for 2 more. Monstrosity. Oh, that's pretty sweet. I love it. And we will remember to do the assault formation this time. Target creature. I do want to flash in the Jeskai Barricade. You may return target creature you control to its owner's hand. I think we'll be okay. We'll just go and get it down for 4. Helps if we tap out for white on one of those. There we go. Okay. Not going to use the Karametra trigger. We're out of lands on this one. And then we will start swinging across. So at this point, the board's kind of muddied up on the bottom as far as the ground creatures. So we're really looking at swinging in the air and using that Colossus to kind of push past all those goblin creatures. There we go. May return a creature. If we wanted to, we could bounce something like the Wall of Omens to get a card draw going. But I think we'll be okay at this point. And we'll choose no not to bounce it. But I absolutely love the artwork on Jeskai Barricade. Look how good that looks. All right, there we go. Jeskai Barricade, not going to use that ability. Want that on the battlefield. Now let's see what we draw into. Let's go and bring back the Sylvan. Have that come back. Yes, we're going to use that ability. And then that'll still add to that Heroic Intervention. Okay. And if we want to, it becomes blocked if you do, deals 4 damage to creature. We can just, let's go and get ready for the assault formation. So target creature defender can attack as though it didn't. Let's go ahead and go Jeskai Barricade. We're going to pay green on this one. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to go down the line and give all these creatures, make sure they can do that. So I may kind of speed the video up here in a second. Okay, there we go. Our opponent scoops it up. I was just about to go through and add the Axebane Guardian mana, but with us swinging across with the Colossus and we go for a bunch of activations off the Assault formation, target creatures get +0/+1. What's going to happen is we're going to be able to swing with the Colossus. Even if they throw all the goblins over the Colossus, we have more than enough mana to start going for those activations. So thankfully, our opponent went in and scooped it up. We had to sit there and click and have each one be monstrous. But you can really see where this is basically, there's a few other ways to kind of actually win with the deck. But once you get down assault formation, it's a lot of fun. And you can see how easy it is to get those lands on the battlefield, especially when you combine something like Karametra with a bunch of card draw off a bunch of cheap walls like this. And a lot of fun. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.